joke here. Oh shit, hello. Okay, we're going. Right, that loaded much faster than I thought it was going to. So, during the last session, there was a whole bunch of social interactions happening, as the party were taking a brief period of respite after the very chaotic 48 hours of doing the entire Bard Heirloom event, and then immediately having their airship home struck down by the Lilian Beast, and ambushed by Seren Pass and a horde of Seath, with Rose and Clementine Mayflower coming in clutch to help the party out with the situation, and the party came out of it unscathed. Understandably, after essentially 48 hours of fighting for your own survival, the party has taken some time to rest and relax and interact and basically recuperate. And so... Oh. And so... The current in-game date is the 9th of October, 56 AR. And business occurs as usual. The routine of getting up, getting food, preparing ourselves for the day. And Group U are all called into the guild's blacksmith workshop after they have finished readying themselves for the day. And as you enter said workshop, you find both of the guild masters, alongside Lilac, currently hammering away at some various metallic materials, before Lupus spots you having entered the forge. The blacksmith workshop. The fuck am I on? It's a foot. Sorry. Brain cells are lacking today, clearly.
I've got him point and laugh.
Well, the blacksmith do arts and crafts.
I mean, the workshop itself, I guess, is more of a where you're whacking shit. But so you enter the forge / workshop / whatever the fuck you want to call it. And Lupus pops down the hammer he's holding, and approaches the group. So, bit of a random thing to call you all here at the same time, but I promise you there is reason for it.
Okay.
So, you know those Seath gemstones that you came back with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, myself, with the help of Genius McGee and Walking Fire Hazard behind me here, we've started working on making those gemstones into some actual usable pieces of gear for you.
Okay.
And in the background, you just see Zippy nearly set himself on fire with the forge flames. So you've got Lupus standing there being all, explaining what's happening and what's being dealt with, and then behind Lupus, you can see Lilac trying to make sure that Zippy's not accidentally setting his own tail on fire, with Lupus completely unaware that's occurring. So, if you would be so kind as to follow me, I'll show you the things that we're working on for you. And Lupus turns on his heel, sees the chaos going on behind him, and immediately starts sprinting over to try and make sure that things are not going to catch on fire.
It's fine, I got it covered, it's all good.
Are you sure about that? Zippy, your fucking tail!
Ah! Ah!
Hold on.
It's fine, got it under control, it's all good. Meant to happen. It's a magic trick.
Yeah, magic trick of whoosh.
The fox disappeared.
So I'm presuming the party is going to make their way into the further into the forge towards the.
Yeah.
So on this rather large workbench, there you can see where the gemstones have been laid out, and there appear to be various bits of gear, or like raw, like combination of raw and worked materials accompanying each of them. So, I figured out how to distribute these to benefit you the most. So we have Alec. There is going to be a scimitar coming out of this with one of the blaster sapphires in it. Should help you amp up your magic power just a little bit more.
Awesome.
And then for Alice, we've taken one of the Berserker's rubies and we're working on some body armor for you. Aurolus, we've got one of those Supportus amethysts and an Impeder's opal. We're making a shield using them. Should help you protect yourself a bit more. Okay. Bit of a specific combination of things, but we've taken your advice on when we're making that new bow, especially the enchantments you asked for. You do not make things easy, but I like a challenge. Letizia. Perhaps call it bold, but I've noticed that you don't use any sort of shields. So, we are working on making a buckler for you with one of the Defender's topazes.
A buckler? Well, thank you, Master.
No need to thank me. Luna. Notice that your body armor doesn't have too much in terms of enchantments on it. So what we're going to do is one of the Berserker's rubies we have, we're going to try and interweave that into your body armor. I know you're quite the powerhouse with your offense, but the little bit of extra boost I imagine won't hurt in the slightest. And then Nolan, obviously you've been made aware because I've had to temporarily borrow your shield and war fan for some analysis. Patches.
Yes.
We're making a new deck of cards for you with the Impeder's opal.
Deck of cards.
Though you may have to lose a couple of the bonus weaponry that you picked up along the way, as you seem to be a little bit over-prepared.
It's keepsakes.
Hmm.
Memories of battles gone by, you know?
I suppose so. Xanis, we've been working on a new gunblade for you. And Yuzok, we've been working on some body armor for you. Because that yellow dragonhide leather that you're wearing is could certainly be a lot stronger. Now I'm aware it's not exactly the most fancy lineup of things, but I've got a pretty good knack with enchanting. Should hopefully be able to make these quite useful for you for the foreseeable. That's the hope, anyway. Now then, let me see. And Lupus goes back to just organizing some of the materials for looking back at Group U. So, the Feywild, where you'll be heading to next, and I'm presuming You're all aware of the big no-no you shouldn't do while you're there, right?
A reminder might be helpful.
Give names.
Do not sleep with the Fae.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Was that not the one?
And Lupus is looking at Luna and is like basically completely ignoring what Penton has come out with. Do not give them your names, purely because the moment that you give them your name, they have full control over you. In any and all capacities.
Does that include fake names? Or pseudonyms?
don't give this true name.
Pretty much what Luna's said. So long as you don't give them your actual name, and use a shortened version, or like a code name of sorts, or a nickname.
Big P.
No.
No.
So can I tell them my name's Alec? Because technically that's a shortened version of my name.
It'll pass, but it's quite risky. You never know when somebody might come out with your full name by accident.
I don't think anyone has ever said its full name.
I didn't even know that was your full name.
You'll never know.
Well, I know now.
Simply
Your
put,
plan's been foiled.
I would know not to do that firsthand, because I've seen many of my guild members make that mistake. And by many, I mean the entirety of Group M. So
Entirety?
the entirety of Group M made this mistake.
Oh dear.
To be fair to them, there wasn't exactly a whole lot they could have done about it, given the specific circumstances. It's quite the intelligent Fey creature, but suffice to say, I can't ever send them back into the Feywild for any sort of mission.
How do you get them out?
A little bit of help from a very large hoofed friend of mine.
Oh. We have allies there?
I have
Yeah,
allies.
That could be many people, even people we know.
Exactly.
I have an idea. Not as Luna, but me. I have
What's it
an
you
idea.
talk?
I was gonna say
No.
Valfern.
You've got hooves.
Valfern has hooves.
Yeah. But Lupus looks at the party. That being said, I don't know if you've noticed. I doubt you've been looking at your guild group on the it's not like a ranking chart, but I guess you've not been checking in on your guild ranking for a little while now. But I have been able to pull some strings, as it were. And you see, how would one describe it? I've managed to find a little loophole, one might call it, so that whenever you're going out for these heirloom missions, they get counted. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to describe the loophole itself. But I should probably just be more specific about it. Essentially, I've managed to convince Rem that these heirloom missions you're being sent off on are under the guild's terms. So essentially, I can just push your rank up as and when you complete the missions.
Sweet.
Are any of you gonna look at the like? There's a board in this room. It's like basically like a stone slab with a bunch of like runic letters on it that shuffle and alter what language they are, what language the board itself reads based on your view of it. So say it might read as infernal for Alec, but for Pension it may be Lebanese, and so on. But are any of you going to have a look at this board?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So as you take a look at the board, you notice that your guild rank is currently at C. The last,
Weren't we like F before?
I believe the last time that you guys checked it would have been around the point where you were, I think it was either E plus D minus area.
Yeah, one of those.
So the last time you've checked it, you've gone up a whole 4/5 guild ranks since you last checked. Which may not make sense, but or may not seem that big of a deal, but rest assured it very much is, because I'll just show you the difference. Two seconds, because I'm just copy and pasting everything over. So from the top one to the bottom one. Just for an understanding of the difference.
So
for-
+8.
Yeah, it's an 8. It's an
So it's
8
plus
difference.
2 for every increase, or
Bingo.
so.
I
Got it.
can post the full thing later if you'd like. Well, now, brain cells, please. So, as you're checking over this board, you notice that a lot of the other guild groups, there's like almost like a bullet point. The group letter, the rank, the group letter and its members, and then the rank, and some sort of symbol, which is for your group a almost like golden color, but for every other guild group that is not the guild masters at the top of the board, every other guild group's symbol is grayed out. So as you can see, it's acknowledged by the global guild organization that all of the other groups are on deployment to a mission. Right. So we will soon be due for our first twin casting session for the day. I'm going to try and get as many in as possible, so that you have the most tools accessible to you. For now, though, I will let you get on with your day, as it were, whilst myself, Zippy, and Lilac continue to sort out these items that we're forging for you. And so, if you choose to, you are welcome to exit the forge now.
I choose to.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okie dokie. So, I have posted the list of things in the chat for you guys. If you want to jump, if any of you have any particular interactions you would like to initiate, feel free to jump. Not literally jump, but like voice your interest in thingamabob. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get my brain to reset. So where is? Give me 2 seconds. Just realised I've not got something at the table that I should have. Okay. I have got the headphones back on. Are there any social interactions on that little list that you guys would like to jump on? Else I shall
I could talk to Kay.
go for it. So, Alec, after everybody ends up leaving at the forge, you end up going to find where Kay is after the whole events of the Holy Night heirloom. She wasn't exactly her usual self on the way back. And so you find her in the library reading through some documents.
Hey, what you reading there?
Oh, hey Alec. I'm reading through some of the documents that my dad managed to dig up on our family tree. A lot of interesting things.
Oh, really? Anything cool to share?
Well, from what I can understand at the moment, it seems like a lot of my family were quite how would one put it? Unique, but had a lot of issues with Alexander, the god of holy. He had a habit of trying to claim members of my family as part of his collective. Which no. No, he doesn't.
That is so weird.
Well, I think it's because a lot of our family are kind of intertwined with the elements of holy and healing and all that. That he kind of just, I don't know, maybe he gets jealous that we're just better.
Wow, you've got a whole god jealous of you. That's so cool.
And she smiles a little bit. Yeah, I suppose so. Although it does seem like for a couple of our family members it's caused some inconveniences, to say the least of it.
Sounds like it. Are you doing okay after last mission?
She tilts her head a little bit, almost confused. What do you mean?
You know, with the when we landed on Zelaquin and the things that happened.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a bit awkward that we had to repair the airship and straight through a storm at the worst possible timing, but to be fair, I'm more impressed at the fact that I managed to, well, trigger off my bloodline runes. I was not expecting that at all.
Okay, cool. Just let me know if you need to talk about anything.
She once again seems a little confused, but you can tell by the look in her eyes that she's definitely avoiding the topic that I imagine was being alluded to. Yeah, I mean, shouldn't be too much, but I must admit I am a little concerned when it comes to the Feywild, because that's going to be something we've not dealt with before.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
I mean, it's also going to be.
Did you see?
Sorry.
Do you see how the guildmaster just absolutely ignored Penton when he said,
Kay has a grin on her face. Yeah, I mean, if what I've heard's true, I think there was a good reason why that topic was avoided.
"What have you heard?"
And Kay just wiggles eyebrows at you.
Come on, tell me. Tell me
Well-
the secrets.
And Kay very quietly whispers into Al, like, basically has to like indicate for Alec to like lean down so she can reach.
Okay, I lean down.
And as you lean down, she very quietly whispers and explains that there have been some rather interesting rumors floating about the guild that the guild, one and or both of the guild masters have in fact done the act that Penton brought up.
What, sex?
Yes.
They have done the sex. Scandalous.
I mean, I was trying to avoid explicitly stating it, but yes. Kay basically mentioned she's picked up rumors that Lupus and Zippy have had intimate relations with entities from the Feywild, but she's not sure whether that's true or not.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm gonna carry on reading for a minute. But if I need to talk to you about something, I'll come find you, yeah?
Okay, yeah. If you find anything cool in that book, let me know too.
She nods with a smile on her face and
See ya.
waves to you as you go.
I
Before
wave
going back
back.
to her reading. Brain cells, please. Function. Cooperate with me! Sorry, I'm just reading the note I made for the second to last interaction on that list. I'm a mature individual. Oh dear. So, are there any... Letizia.
Oh dear. Let me have a look at my list. Let's talk to Marianne if
Okay.
she is available.
I mean, everybody's pretty much available at the moment.
Bar Alice or Diana.
Yeah, as Alice's player is not here for
Yeah.
today. So...
Not getting vibrated.
That's
Oh,
really
no.
funny. She is still vibrating to this day.
She's
Oh
still
no,
Why?
she never
Norik is
stopped.
predisposed.
She's just vibing.
We can't do any Norik scenes because Norik is still in the room vibrating Diana.
They never stopped.
Context!
Never!
Okay, so Letizia, you end up going on a little mission to find a somewhat important individual. And you end up bumping into Marianne. The exact person that you were looking for.
Ah, what if it isn't Miss Marianne? Nice to meet you. My name's Letizia.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Can I have a moment of your time, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna pull her away a little bit from.
I mean, you could certainly try, but I'm pretty sure Marianne's got
Not
Like-
literally pull her away.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think you would have the strength to do that.
Just guide her away from the rabble.
That is a muscle-bound half-elf in plate
Mm,
armor. She is not moving.
She is not moving.
So
Well,
the two of you end up basically heading off to a slightly more remote area of the guild.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but I heard that you're a champion of a god, right?
Yes.
Which one, if I may ask?
Ifrit.
Ifrit. Yeah, that one does seem to ring a bell. Well, how did you become a champion, if I may ask?
Well, one day I got a letter, and then a bunch of other things happened, and then we saved the world, and then here I am.
So you became a champion after you saved the world, or was it something that happened before?
Well, I met Ifrit before, and
Wow.
then, well, in the process, I guess.
That's quite impressive. I mean, to be fair, I never met any gods until I came to this guild. It's the sort of thing that, well, people like me, we don't get to encounter. So to see gods and champions of gods is quite a big feat. I mean, how's it feel to be a champion? Like, what do you do?
Not much recently. I
I
just kind of
mean-
do my own thing.
You just live your same old normal life as if you weren't a champion to begin with?
Well, I mean, yeah, basically. But I mean, my
Right.
normal life is like running a guild and doing things like that. So
I see. So there's an incentive to keep on going, I suppose, to keep yourself renowned, so it's worth being a champion.
I suppose.
I see. I mean, I'm sure the guildmaster probably already told you, but it is something that has been on my mind. So if
I'm
you
not
have
sure
any
if he has.
advice.
Well, I think it depends on which god you're after.
I see. Well, let's speak
I imagine some of them are worse.
Yeah, I can imagine. But let's speak hypothetically. If it was Ifrit, what would you have to do in order to get his attention? What did you do?
Fight a bunch, I guess.
Fight a bunch.
Just go up to him and be like, "I'm gonna fight everything."
You just
And
approached the
and
god. You approached the god and basically declared yourself that you're gonna be their champion.
I guess. Although, maybe with Ifrit, pick what time of the year you're going with, because there's a really weird sex carnival every now and again.
There's a big sex carnival.
You don't want to go. You don't want to be there. Well,
Right.
maybe you do. I don't know you, but
I can't say I have much experience, to be fair. Is this something that you've personally experienced?
not as a participator.
But you've witnessed it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not really sure how to take that, but I hope Ifrit's the only god that has that sort of commitment.
Yeah.
I
don't think any of the other ones do.
I mean, I don't really know too many gods. To be fair, where I'm from, well, gods aren't really that much of a thing. I mean, they are, don't get me wrong, people worship them, but it's not like we have their influence directly.
Yeah, I mean, Astra and like Diana are actually. Oh, and now Norik. Norik's here. He's big god.
You make it seem like, well, not that you're not a fan of him, but that he's a lot, which kind of is what seems to be the case.
Oh, I love Norik, but yeah, he is a lot. He's a big personality, like me. Like all of us, I guess.
Hmm. I mean, that's the thing that's kind of confused me is why, well, there is no god per se called Narek, is there? But you call him that.
Oh well, that's what we know him as, but I guess it's Rama or something. Yeah.
Rama. Yeah, that sounds more like it. Is it the same for the rest of them?
I don't remember the rest. I don't remember what Astra's is. Diana is the Raven Queen. Maybe.
She's a damn. I think it's just kind of hit my head about how incredible people are here and how little I am in comparison. I mean, God, I'm just from a little old town in a little old district.
Well, so
I
was
don't. You were, and you still managed to do all this?
I mean, to be honest, I just kind of ran my way through life, swords blazing, and got here somehow. So
Right. I mean, I think if I did that, I'd probably get arrested.
maybe.
But yeah, I don't think they would appreciate that if I was running through town with my gun out.
Yeah, maybe
I
don't
mean,
run around town bearing weapons, but
oh, you didn't mean that literally. I mean, sorry, not to be rude or anything, but I've heard things.
yeah, don't run around with weapons out in public places. People don't like that. You can
Right.
probably do it here because everyone's fucking crazy. But
Everyone's.
what have you heard?
I think maybe that's a conversation for another day, and Letitia's just gonna start backing away very slowly. But hey, I appreciate your advice, and yeah, see you another day. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Sorry, that tickles me. I was trying so hard not to giggle there, and I think it came through the mic a couple times. Because that was fucking gold. Oh, okay. My brain. Okay. Come on, Lupus. Get your brain cells together. So.
Lol.
So rude, you know I don't have those.
Okay. So. What we're gonna do is I'm going to use my brain for a second. I know, scary.
Fair.
And whilst it's on my brain, frickin'. Right. Okay. So, does anybody else want to jump onto an interaction that they're particularly eager for, or shall I slide on into the next one that is in my brain?
Slide on.
Okay then. Brain cells. Okay. No. Screw it. Letizia.
Hello.
I'm presuming that there is you have a mental goal in mind after your interaction with the champion of a god.
What is this as a substitute? Because I'm not doing spell twin casting.
Not necessarily. It's more of a like the twin casting rolls I will kind of just do in the background because I'm writing some bits and pieces down, and I'm definitely not trying to partly spare the voice of our hay fever afflicted friend, and also because I imagine that after that interaction, Letizia probably got a goal in mind.
Yeah. Let me think. Probably to research about Ifrit, since I now have an example, and maybe I can see why the hell he chose Marianne of all people.
Understandable.
It's open.
So that would be. Is that what you're planning to do now then?
Yeah, so I'll probably just waddle to the library. Not literally, I'm not Marianne. I have to clarify that now.
So. Penton.
Yes.
So after a little bit, you end up deciding to approach a somewhat familiar face that you have yet to properly get to know. And you decide to end up approaching Meraxus. You've seen him around the guild. You've seen him around enough. You have helped. He was alongside you during the Green Sage heirloom, and there's been one thing that's been consistently on your mind. Who is he, and what are his stakes in all this? Like, who is he as a person? You know he's a Rolus's sibling. Memory serves correctly, the older of the two, and you're fully aware that he's one of the sages. However, you don't really know much about him outside of that. So, curiosity ends up getting the better of you. And also to clarify, yes, Meraxus is the older sibling. I definitely didn't just have to look that up. And so you find Meraxus sitting in one of the guild gardens with, surprisingly enough, Mado nestled up with him, with Mado's helmet, that basically being balanced via one of the horns off of a tree branch above them.
Oh, aren't you two just adorable?
Well, I'd say he's the more adorable one, but certainly why I got about it. And you realise that Mado is sound asleep as you get a little bit closer. Like, he's got his head down on Meraxus's lap, and Meraxus is basically just petting his head.
So, I've been to talk to you actually.
Yeah?
Mainly because I haven't spoken to you, like, at all. I know nothing about you. We've fought alongside each other multiple times now, and never spoken. So, I'm Penton. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Name's Meraxus.
So, what's your stake in all this?
Well, I mean, world's gonna end. Unless you mean more my own reason for helping.
Yeah.
Well, simply put, after what happened to our dad, I've got vengeance to take up, and then, well, me with my brother. If you had to boil it down to the things that are motivating me at the moment, but
Just
me
sticking
myself,
together.
well, partly. See, yeah, this was years ago, but me and my brother, our dad went missing a while ago, we'll put it that way. And there was this whole chaos of people like people running around panicking. There was the whole coronation of a new queen and all that happening on the Karos.
Okay.
You probably aren't old enough to have been around for that. Well,
Wait,
no.
how old are you?
Well, bit of a forward question, but I'm 120 years
I'm
old.
a bit of a forward person.
I've noticed.
So why do anything but play the role assigned?
A rather interesting way of approaching it, but understandable nonetheless.
I'm only 25, I think?
I mean, if you look at your sheet, it's on your appearance
I'm
page.
pretty sure it's 25. 27. 27.
How do you not remember your own character's age?
Because I'm special.
I mean, I gathered that. You also don't have your sheet open.
I have my sheet open. It's closed itself. What the fuck? It's all closed. It's
25.
I have Roll20 open. I had everything open.
Did you have it open in? Have you got it open in a different Chrome window, by any chance?
Okay.
No.
No, that's weird. That's really weird.
Anyway, no. So he is nearly 5 times your age.
Oh.
But yeah, when that whole mess was going on, and these an interesting group of fugitives on the island, but nothing I really bothered myself with. Can't personally say it bugged me that much, but people do what people do.
Fugitives? What?
I don't really know, to be fair. I wasn't paying much attention to it when it happened. You, from what knowledge Penton has from when Luke was basically laid into him about his Felly stunt, you recognize that the events he is referring to directly is essentially what happened. Oh, pardon me. He is essentially referring to the events of the Crystal Heroes, a small group of fugitives that were being pursued by the soldiers of the newly coronated queen of Arcadia.
Oh,
And
so
that's
you saw all
strikes
that
like
chaos go down, did you?
Yeah. Can't say I saw it personally. I was too busy kicking behemoths. Quite fun. Until they try and bite your foot off, but you lose a sandal here, you lose a sandal there.
I guess.
Nah. Basically, our dad disappeared a while ago. 2 of us split up for a long ass time to go and find him. And unfortunately we ended up finding him at the same time. The last place that either of us wanted to look was on the island of Tempeal, considering what their track record is. But here we are.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I've got a bit of a sore subject. Why did you split up though? Why didn't you look together?
Well, simply put, if we went to the same place together, if he was traveling around, we would have completely missed him. There wouldn't have been any point.
Cover more ground.
Exactly.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that also meant going between the planes, which not an easy one to do, but bit of a rough one, especially when only one of us is capable of really crossing the boundary between them, and that's by getting a bit of help from some of the wind elementals to cross between the material plane and over to the plane of wind. Go from there and pretty much drop into any other plane. the quirks of being able to follow the winds of, well, the winds in general.
See, we've done some plane shifting shenanigans. We never seem to end up where we want to end up.
Who's plane shifting you?
Like...
And Raxus just nods.
We ended up like on top of one of the spires and missed us. Just completely by accident. We normally end up several kilometers from where we need to be.
How? You know what?
No.
You know what? Maybe I shouldn't ask.
It was relatively new to his craft at that point, so you can cut him a little slack. He's gotten a lot better at it.
I'll take your word for it. Anyway, seems like you've been dabbling in some green magic recently.
Yeah, it's something I've been dipping my toes into. Not very good at it yet, but seems
Wow.
pretty useful to me and my particular way of doing things.
That checks out. So I'll have to try and teach you some stuff at some point.
Oh, really? Yeah, that would be great. What sort of things can you teach me?
Well, one that Mado quite likes me doing, and Maraxis takes a moment before casting Seducer's Eyes on himself, and he gives you like some seductive side eye
Oh my.
before discharging the spell.
And shakes his head. Oof, that's a powerful stuff.
Yeah, suffice to say, it comes in use when you need to deal with some inconveniences. Just go, hey, let me through this barrier, and then they decide not to.
You
So,
just whip your hair.
pretty much. You wouldn't believe the number of people that absolutely swoon the moment that a long-haired Viking-like man comes along and flicks his hair like it's some sort of commercial.
It is very nice hair. You keep it very well.
Well, it's a lot more hassle than it's worth at times.
How long does it normally take you to do it?
You don't want to know.
3 hours? 2 hours? A day?
And Rax just very, very solemnly nods at you when you say a day. It's a whole process.
I imagine time magic helps with it.
I don't know time magic, so
Well, someone can help you out.
I somehow doubt that, but it'd be interesting to see.
Anyway, looks like old Sleepyhead's waking up, so I'll make tracks.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be calling us over for that practice in a bit, aren't they?
And checks his... Do we have watches? I think he looks at the sun and looks to see what sort of, like, how low in the sky it is. Yeah, seems to be getting that time. Oh, guess we both better make tracks then. It was nice to finally speak to you.
Likewise.
And then he nods his head and starts walking away.
And so... Okay. So, the party ends up gathering into one space. Oh, you are excused.
Thank you.
Where the practice begins once again. However, this time it appears as though some magical runes. It appears some runes have been set in place throughout the Colosseum that you are that you are practicing in an effort to amplify the magical flow here. And Lupus essentially takes a short period to explain to you that what you are, it's like this yellowish mist flowing through the room. And Lupus explains to you essentially that is what it's called. It is called mist. And whilst it is typically typically considered cursed by Viera, as it messes with their senses a little bit, he's managed to set up like a stable zone of it to help with the whole process of helping you guys practice your twin casting together, so that it's not as exhaustive a process. So, if you would all be so gracious as to roll me 74. So, for the characters you have control of for this twin casting session.
I'm guessing I'm exempt from this.
Yes, as I don't believe.
My only spell is message, so unless you would have spell cast twin cast message.
I mean, I would have to look through to see which characters have message, but I somehow
Think we
highly.
can probably pass on that one.
Yeah.
I'll just do a different skill or something.
Yeah, or during this time, you are going to basically be encouraged to try and practice the arcane to see if you are capable of picking up runes. So if you could
Gotcha,
roll me a
that's fine.
percentile dice, I would appreciate that.
Is that just a D100?
Yes.
One sec. Do I add anything to it or just straight 100?
It's just a straight D100.
$88.
Okay, I will make note of that. Okay, I'm assuming, yeah. Okay, I see the results for Astra, Luna, and Andromeda. Alec, would you mind rolling 7d4 for yourself and Marianne for your twin casting practice?
Cool. 74 for each.
Yeah.
Okay, I will Google it. Because
Okay.
I cannot be bothered to open Roll20, log into Roll20.
Don't
blah, blah,
blame you.
blah, blah,
Don't blame you.
blah.
Penton,
Yes.
can I have your rolls, please?
Am I rolling again?
You can literally see where Luna's rolled it above.
Okay, it is the same.
It
I
is
wasn't sure if it was the
74 for each character. So that. Okay. Zippy's one.
Really?
Don't roll. Oh, I swear to God, if you roll 4 of the same, like 4 sets of the same number again, I'm gonna screech. Okay. And then. Okay. You didn't do what you did last time, which was freaky as fuck. Okay. Don't worry. There is a reason why I'm getting it done during session rather than after session. There is a thought process behind this. Okay. Okay. So, brain cells, please cooperate. Okay, so you conclude your twin casting practice, and I will let you know in a second once my brain cells have figured out what the fuck is going on. Letizia.
Hello.
You spend a short period trying to understand the brief explanation that Lupus gave to you of how to manifest this runic magic. And you kind of get somewhere with it. Like, it's like the equivalent of trying to flex a muscle that you can't actually feel. It's difficult, but you can kind of get somewhere with it. Like, for a brief moment you manage it, and then it just completely short fuses on you. But you reckon with a bit more practice you might be able to suss it out.
Sauce.
Yes. Okay. Brain cells, please. And so, you end up returning to your regular routine. Brain cells, please. Oh, brain cells, please. Are there any scenes that you would like to jump on whilst I am figuring out the fuck I'm doing? Is there anything of particular interest that you guys would like to jump on? I'm kind of just letting it free flow. Right. Okay. Right, so... Okay, so... Bear with me, I'm just doing a bunch of maths to make sure that I have actually got this correct. Checking my numbers. Okay. So there's a bunch of these that have completed that I'm gonna have to mark down in the moment. Are there any scenes that you guys do want to jump on? Sorry, I know I prompted already. I'm just there. If there is anything you would like to initiate, please go for it. Else, I shall just throw one at the metaphorical wall.
So,
Ooh.
Luna is walking into one of the gardens, and she comes across Andromeda. Yes, I am doing this one.
Go for it. Let me just adjust the music to something that's a bit more mellowed. Where is it? I will also let you guys know whilst I'm trying to find the track and avoid YouTube deciding to catapult spoil like fucking advertisements at me. That there is a whole bunch of the twin casting pairs that have concluded their practice.
Is this scene on the track?
It is. But I will update the tracker as the interaction occurs. So.
Oh, pardon me.
It's a little loud.
My bad.
There we go.
Right. You ready?
I am. So, Luna and Andromeda in one of the guild gardens. Go for it.
Oh, hey. This is Luna, by the way. I've just realised. These two people sound exactly the same. This is gonna be great.
It's perfectly fine. Don't
Just
worry.
go Horrid Henry and say Luna. That's it.
So, Luna. Oh, hey, Andromeda. Oh, Luna, right? Nice to meet you. I'm Andromeda. Sage Weaver, of course. Luna. I can't do this. I'll try to make them sound as different as possible.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you would like a third element there to help out, I'm
No.
more than happy.
No.
Okay. Go. Sorry.
Remember what I was going to talk about. So, wait, you're Astra's daughter? Yeah. Oh. Right, what's that like? Apparently a big secret for apparently most of my life. Well, that's awkward. Mm-hmm. But, so, has it been a good life? I'd say so. I've been doing a lot of adventuring the past 20 years with my Andromeda Smiles. My lovely partner, Calatrix. She is amazing, by the way. Have you met her? No, I don't think I have. What does she look like? Well, she is this beautiful Wolvenite. Her fur is... it's like ice. And don't let her eyes fool you. They are artificial. She is blind. But don't think that's an excuse to try and steal something from her. She will feel it. Oh? Yes. Over the course of, from what I understand, her life, she began to be able to feel the tremors around her. Oh, so that's tremor sense, isn't it? Yep. I think it's pretty cool, to be honest. Hey, do you want to go talk to her right now? Yeah, that sounds great. Do you know where she is? Of course I do. She normally hangs around in the library, although I don't know why. I think it's the smell of the books. Huh. And off they go to the library to find Calatrix.
Hey, so
That was beautiful. Well done.
whilst the duo are making their way to the library, so that Andromeda may introduce Luna to Calatrix. Brain cells, please. Oh, Norik. You are approached by Lupus. Yes, I am putting you on the spot because, haha, fuck you.
Oh. Hello, honey. How are you doing?
Oh, absolutely splendid, darling. So, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Do you recall, and it's fine if you don't, a very particular song that I had you play for what I'm going to describe as assistance with mine and Zippy's training?
You're...
Need a refresher?
It's been 15 years, so yeah.
Where myself and Zippy were trying to increase how in sync we were during a battle after I nearly had my head taken off my shoulders by his Moonshatter shotgun. It's like Sid all over again.
You should really watch out for that.
Yes, well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Do you let him shoot you?
For science.
For science. You get shot in the head for science. Actually, you didn't specify head.
No, my head being taken off my shoulders was unfortunately an unintended near consequence. But I'm still alive and kicking. Anyway.
But if it's music you want me to play, I can certainly do that.
Well, I was wondering if you would be able to help me basically trap music into one of these, and Lupus
Oh.
produces this, this like kind of like glass sphere, and places it down on the table on like this little like. It almost looks like a crystal ball once he puts it down the table.
Music of the spheres.
So, Midnight has been working on these, and they're able to, well,
They're very
Would-
pretty.
they are, but with a little bit of help from Titania and, well, be it Titania, Garuda, and your previous incarnation,
Mm-hmm.
alongside a very special friend of mine. Well, I say friend of mine, friend of the Bardic College that you might be somewhat familiar with, that is under new management.
Uh-huh.
There may or may not be, may or may not have created a way to essentially take these spheres and store music in them, so that all you have to do is touch them, and it plays music.
Huh.
And I wanted to capture some of your songs, because one of the things that I missed the most whilst you were gone was the tunes that you would play that would fill these halls.
Aw, how lovely that is.
Oh, come on.
No, you miss me that much.
The f do you mean? You were like the only one that consistently visited. Okay, Karina didn't visit that much because she's got 2 kids and a husband. Marianne was being made prim and proper by her wife. Rose was off doing things, and Astra was back and forth between Death's Door and being Goddess of the Harvest. But, you know,
It's nice to feel loved.
watch it.
But of course, dear, I can most certainly do that.
Something extra I would like to ask about, though. Have you any sort of familiarity with a very specific type of dance?
Are we talking tango or samba or
No?
ballroom dancing?
No. Are you familiar?
Or your secret shame?
No, not my secret shame, thank you. We will not be discussing that at this table. And Lupus has gives Norik a very firm glare. No, we will not be discussing that, thank you.
Okay.
The level of difficulty I have had trying to keep that talent under the hood. Anyway, more importantly, are you familiar with the Banshees? The Howling Banshees of Farron.
Rings a bell.
And their very much coveted battle style, the Dance of Death. Are you familiar?
Oh, it's pondering.
It's fine if you aren't. It's not exactly a common one to hear of.
It sounds interesting.
Well, in the 50 years that have passed, I spent some time with these people. And their blades sing.
The blades thing.
Yes. Not so much singing in terms of being vocal, but more a case of the blades themselves resonate with their movements.
I was gonna say, if you juggled them, could you create a quartet?
No.
Oh.
As much as I'm sure you would love to be able to replicate your Shadow Bard tricks. No, that is not the case.
A Norik only choir. What a beautiful thing it would be. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
please put yourself away. Contain your autosexuality, at least to some degree.
And while you're talking, Norik takes out a foldable mirror and unfurls it and starts doing his hair.
And Luke just sitting there, just staring at Norik and shaking his head.
Oh, come on, man, continue. I'm listening.
Anyway, there is a particular piece of music that I have been made aware is very much popular amongst your, well, I say your kind, it sounds oddly offensive, amongst your people. That doesn't make it sound any better. But it turns out that this Blade song and this Dance of Death that they've made originates from elves, specifically your brand of elf, the Wood Elves.
Okay.
And so I have a few sheets of music here. Was wondering if you would be partial to playing some of it to see if you can catch it correctly, I guess? Because if you can, and I can capture it in this sphere, I might be able to actually get some practice in when I'm not able to go over to Farron and have to relocate where the Banshees have gone to this time. It's the only problem I have with nomadic people. You never quite find them when you need them. And when you do find them, it's normally because you've been caught in one of their traps and are hanging upside down from one of your legs.
We've all been there. But sure thing, Lulu. I'd do anything for you.
And Lupus just lets out this very long sigh through his nose.
And Norik ruffles his fur.
Do that again and I'm going to punch you.
Wouldn't damage something so beautiful.
Lupus clicks his knuckles with intent.
Alright, fine, I'll play this stupid song.
Play me the song of your people. I guess literally in this case. And so Norik, I'd like you to make a performance check, please. I'm going to let you do this because ego must be stroked.
Pretty good. That's 96.
Damn. So that's a success. What'd you fucking do? If I turned around and was like, nah, bro. Oh dear. So
Failed elf.
you failed at elfing. Go back to elf school. No. So you succeed. And the actual piece comes to you as though it was second nature. Because, quite literally, this is the song of your people. This is music created specifically for elven ears. And god damn do they know how to compose a good bit of music. And so, with this, time passes, and I'm immediately going to throw somebody underneath the metaphorical bus as Letizia.
Shit, I was muted. Hello.
Whilst having concluded your investigations into Ifrit and mainly finding a bunch of folklore and like you could see where some of the books they were in books with more specific details and importance, but they were locked away with what appears to be the handprint of the Guildmaster or somebody of Wolven origin. You end up wandering into one of the gardens, where you can see there is what appears to be like a stone slab of sorts. surrounding a small fire pit, above which there is a large pot with water boiling away in it. And there is a small bird, a small chocobo chick, currently fluttering about in one of these flower bushes nearby.
Oh, nice little bird. How you doing, little bird?
The bird looks at Letizia before wandering out of the bush and turning back into their true form. Well, Astra.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know that it was you.
You're expecting to know that a random little chocobo bird would be me.
Well, I was aware that there are gods here. I really should have been a bit more careful. I am so sorry if I caused you any offense.
I could have also just been some random person polymorphed as a little chocobo bird, so do not get all worried.
I appreciate that, Miss Astra, really. But, what were you doing in that bush, if I may ask?
Being bored, to be honest. There are many things to do, but there's also just not enough time.
Yeah, I can relate to not having a lot of time, but, well, I guess when you're being a goddess, I can imagine there's not really a lot left to do. Oh, well, actually, kind of the opposite. Surely you must have a lot of duties?
As the goddess of the harvest, I have a lot of duties when it comes to harvest. And what fucking season is it? Whoppers. What's the fucking month?
The in-game month currently,
Yeah,
it is
it's
October.
October.
Oh, it's harvest time.
No, I'd say it's well past the main harvest season.
Yeah, so I can say the main duties of the Harvest Goddess as of this point, like a lot of the stuff that you would have been having to pay attention to, has mostly passed, and the remaining elements of the current harvest season are now left down to the brain cells. The goddess of the harvest, goddess of the harvest, the goddess of farming, Peritos, and any sort of misdeeds that Hades decides to try and slip in there last minute.
A lot of my duties have been completed as of now, and Peritos, my dear goddess of farming, is currently pursuing her duties, and there may be some interference by Hades, but other than that, I have more time to focus on the current issue, which is the heirlooms.
I see. Well, it does seem like quite a daunting task. I was actually talking to Marianne earlier.
Oh,
I know you two kind of friends.
yes.
If
I
I
would
may
say so.
be so bold to make an assumption, is it perhaps the case that you weren't always the goddess, like how she wasn't always the champion?
You are quite astute.
Well, if you would indulge with me, how did you become a goddess?
Well, I was on death's door when Eden came to me with a proposition, and I accepted, and then I became the goddess of the harvest.
I see. This is getting mighty confusing. I feel like I've been doing both the things that you or Marianne have been going on, and I don't feel any step closer to achieving these sorts of things.
What things do you think Marianne and I have done?
Well, Marianne basically made it sound like she did a lot of great deeds by saving the world, and to have she put it, going in guns blazing. And then you being on this door. Well, I've
Marianne nearly got everyone killed at one point. It was interesting.
and if Freak still decided to make her his champion.
From what I understand,
Sorry.
It wasn't always supposed to be Marianne to become Ifrit's champion. There was another that was originally going to be Ifrit's champion, but well, events occurred, and the flame of passion was passed on to Marianne.
As you say this, out the corner of your eye, both of you spot Rose walking past the door, one of the doorways into this garden, and she is chatting with her daughter, and interestingly enough, Edith. And the three of them walk past the doorway pretty much the moment you start describing this. They're out of earshot, but there's just like the slight awkwardness of, that was well timed. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm presuming that the Letizia has no idea who the actual crystal heroes are, so...
No. So, Letizia
Astra is purposely keeping it on the down low.
You know what? Astra is a lot more sensible about the whole process than most of the others looks at particular people. Wait,
I mean,
Cough.
Astra took what Lupa said seriously. That she didn't even fucking tell Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Sorry, I will be completely honest, I am paying attention to, like, two different things at once. If any of you are looking at the buff and debuff tracker for the twin casting chart, you'll see that there is a fuckload of green!
Yeah,
it's so green. Anyway, sorry, please continue.
I mean, it just doesn't make much sense.
I'm not entirely sure why you're looking to be a champion. I mean, why? Yeah, why?
I mean, if the Guildmaster hasn't told you, I'd be surprised if you couldn't sense the aura on me.
He hasn't told me, and whilst I might be able to sense something that is wrong, not everyone wants inquiries into personal matters.
Right. Well, Kay kind of told everyone in front of everyone else, so I don't suppose it'd be an issue to tell you, but I've been a bit cursed by Zodiac.
Ah.
Yeah, everyone in my lineage dies at the age of 50. And I'm, well, in the later half of my 40s.
That's unfortunate, but I can't help you, if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, goodness gracious, no, I'm not specifically asking for your help in terms of just getting rid of it. I'm more asking for your guidance, if anything.
Well, Marianne wasn't looking to become Ifrit's champion to begin with. It just happened.
What about you?
What about me? Becoming a goddess?
Yeah.
I took an opportunity to live.
I see. It just doesn't really make sense to me since all my other family members, well, they all died before my eyes.
I don't know why Eden approached me in that moment.
Right. Well, I guess it's gonna have to be something I gotta try and figure out on my own. Maybe your friend Norik or the Raven Queen might be able to give me some more advice. But I appreciate.
Diana.
Wait,
From what Diana became the Raven Queen. She inherited the position from the previous Raven Queen.
right. And what about Norik?
Norik, well, he was a regular elf. Before, he was sacrificed, but Norik had, I guess you could have considered him Rama's champion of a sort, whilst he was still alive. And then, the way that the elemental, well, the soul, Norik's soul person became in line to become Rama if the existing Rama were to die. So say the previous Rama, we just call him Rama because no one knew who that Rama was, died. It could have been Norik that took over, or it could have been any other soul or person that had become a champion of Rama, if that makes sense.
I see. I see. I mean, if I may be so bold, it seems like a lot of these ascensions were down to luck or things outside of people's control.
I guess you could look at it that way.
So, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I don't think Zodiac is really gonna remove this bloodline curse if I just ask him nicely. So, well, I guess maybe I may just have to accept that things are the way that they are, just like my sister did. But I'm not gonna give up trying. Maybe that luck will find me too.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong on giving up and searching for a way to live.
How did it feel for you being on this door? Did you just come to accept it, or?
I was ready to leave, but then I was given a spark of hope.
I see. Maybe the same might come for me if I just keep on trying. Thank you, Goddess. I really appreciate your wisdom.
You can call me Astra, you know.
Extra it is then. And you can always call me Lady. Well, it's easier, whatever you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just give her a little bow and leave.
Understandable.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Lupus. I was just like, don't say lettuce, don't say
Don't
lettuce.
say lettuce. Don't say lettuce. Also, it just ignore me memeing because my brain is like multitasking between three things: paying attention to the interaction, to offer any useful tidbits of information, memeing, and then filling out the grid.
I wasn't paying attention when I started stuttering about Norik and Rama is because I was just like, how the fuck do I explain this?
How to explain
do you
this without
explain that?
revealing bad things?
How do I explain that
Yeah. Okay, so as Letizia, as you go off to go and contemplate the situation and try and figure out some sort of consistent correlation between what you found out so far and then the end result of those reminiscences, if you will. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be mean, but I'm gonna do it. Marianne, you end up encountering Rose. Having as she walks out of one of the rooms that you're walking past after leaving her door. You can hear Clementine and Edith having a conversation in the room as she steps out, and she seems both surprised in a like, oh my god, I didn't expect to see you there, and like almost calmed surprise, like, oh. A mixture of genuine surprise and a pleasant surprise. There we go. Sorry, my brain cells are fucking running at 2 miles an hour. Ah, Marianne,
hi.
so good to see you.
Good to see you too. How have you been?
Well, not the most brilliant situations I've been in, but I've been doing surprisingly well, all things considered.
That's good.
Say, I do recall Lucas telling me about, you getting married. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the wedding as I was in the middle of dealing with the mission. But, by the time I came back, it was a bit too late to send, any, housewarming gifts or whatever. Whatever you might, supply for that situation.
Oh, Rita is she's lovely. You're welcome to visit anytime.
She has a surprisingly soft smile on her face. You can see the the wear and tear and stress of the last 50 years are definitely somewhat visible on her face. Oh my god, that's way too loud. Turn that the fuck down. There we go. Sorry. I was throwing hands with the music.
Do you want to meet my bears?
She raises an eyebrow. Bears?
Yeah, they're Heracles and Hephaestus. They're my bears.
She has a soft smile on her face as you talk about the bears. Well, I do suppose that I could meet them. And she ends up taking off her gloves and hooking them through her belt. I suppose I should probably wash my hands first, though. Just in case they're dirty.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to get your bears any sort of, well, dirty.
Oh, in case your hands are dirty. I thought you meant in case the bears are dirty.
Oh, goodness no, darling, no. I imagine that you would be taking very good care of them.
Yeah. Hephaestus is not very dirty, but Heracles likes to play in the mud. So.
As I imagine a creature of the woodland would.
Yeah.
Say, how have you been getting on anyway? With not just life, but has Lady Luck been treating you well?
Yeah, things have been going good. Well, other than the thing with Felly and yeah, me and Vita were like, yeah, let's go visit Felly, and she was like, yeah, come visit us. And then we got there, and Tuck was like, tried to kill us. That was not fun.
Rose looks genuinely horrified.
But
as
we
you
lived.
mention this.
We lived thanks to Lupus and his friends. So all's well that ends well.
And what became of him? I haven't had the chance to fully run through the details with Lucas yet.
Oh, of Tuck. I think he's. Yep. No longer with us. He went a bit crazy.
It takes her a few seconds to process what you've said, but once it clicks and she finally finishes processing it, she looks somewhat saddened, but also somewhat relieved at the same time. Well, I suppose it can't always go as hoped. That being said, well, I'm glad that you and your wife were there to look out for each other.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that must have been like for you both.
It's pretty scary.
And Rose,
We both lost body parts, but we got them back, so it's fine.
And before you mention the loss of limbs, she looks at you as though you've said something completely outlandish and unusual. Before you then elaborate with the near loss of limbs, and then she kind of reverts to her mildly horrified expression. Oh, goodness, that's horrible. Well, I suppose that it's not exactly an ideal outcome, but at least he gets to rest. He gets to finally rest once more.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I noticed that you were not so much standoffish, but you seemed rather uncomfortable at my return. As though you were expecting something to happen.
We left off on uncertain terms. So I thought you wouldn't want to talk to me at all. So this is a pleasant surprise.
She scratches her chin for a moment as the two of you by this point the two of you have kind of gone into there's like a within the guild, like one of the guild gardens has like a separated off, like there's a bunch of little gardens, but there's then the big one at the center where there's like a play area for like the animal companions or familiars encased within the garden itself, where Heracles and Hephaestus are currently. And the two of you end up sitting at a bench for a little bit whilst you're talking before you introduce her to the bears. And Rose seems both this you can see like almost an expression of regret in her face, but also mild amusement as you mention how uncertain the terms were. Well, simply put, it took a while of recovering from what happened. And what happened on those days were not exactly my fondest moments, I can certainly say. However,
Yeah, that's okay.
after all was said and done, I actually became the champion of Phoenix. Surprisingly
Awesome.
enough. The pact that I formed with Carbuncle during our battle against Slaven, we ended that pact off simply because I was in a position to heal, and Carbuncle's power is limited in nature. But then Phoenix approached me, and well, being the age I am at this point is a little bit of a pick-me-up is not necessarily a thing I would turn down.
Yeah, we've all gotten a lot older since the old days.
And she chuckles. Well, I wouldn't exactly call you older. After all, you still look just as just as bright and beaming as you were all those years ago. Whereas I have certainly, and she kind of like, kind of like points her fingers to a few of the wrinkles on her face. Whereas the years have not been so kind to me.
Oh, stop. You look lovely. You've aged gracefully.
Well, considering that this year will be my 80th birthday, coming up at some point. No, not this year, next year. It's certainly, an interesting thought to have experienced such a notable passage of time. But no, I should introduce you to my, well, my daughter. At some point, anyway.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Unfortunately, her, origins weren't exactly the most, gracious. But, well, the man that I ended up falling in love with is, not the man that he was. I was tricked into believing that the man that I had fallen for was the real deal, when in fact he was one of the cultists, polymorphed, for all those years.
Wow.
She brushes her hair to one side, and you can see she's like playing with her hair and like braiding it and unbraiding it as she's talking and sharing the information with you. Unfortunately, one of those moments. But at the end of it, I would say that things turned out well. Clementine is a very healthy young girl.
That's good. Is she a strong fighter like her mother?
She very much takes after you. Believe it or not.
Wow.
At least while she was younger. She's matured a little bit and become a little bit wiser over time, but she was always eager to throw herself into the battle, and the amount of times where she nearly ended up tripping over her own feet to try and strike the training dummy when she was younger. Much like when you decided it would be a brilliant idea to pick up that great sword, and you nearly fell over because of how heavy it was. And she does like the sweet, like what I can only describe as like the sweet old lady laugh before she calms herself a little bit. Now then, I do believe that you were going to introduce me to your bears.
Oh, yes. I'll call them over. But yeah, you can pet them. This is Heracles. She's my the best fighter. She's the strongest bear ever. And this is Hephaestus, and she's a lazy little bitch, but we love her.
And Rose takes a bit to pet them. It's a 35 on animal handling, and they seem to take to her. Like, obviously not as much as they've taken to yourself or Vida, but they seem rather comfortable around her. And she pets them with a surprising amount of care. I must say, you look after them quite well. Their coats are very shiny.
Yeah.
And so the two of you spend some time together, just reminiscing about the old days, talking about, you know, life developments and things along that line, and petting the bears. Brain cells, please. Okay. So, during this period, we span over to Leon and Throp. Sorry. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Need to get some water. But you end up... We span over to Leon and Throck, who are just relaxing together, and Throck is basically showing off a little bit because he's picked up magic and he's not been able to make much use of it yet, but Leon has been trying to essentially help him and teach him how to use his spells properly, since Throck's very charismatic, quite got some good wisdom, but he's not exactly the smartest being, and so the arcane is a little bit confusing. Okay, darling. This again.
Okay.
So you do these hand movements, and then you cast the spell.
Yeah.
That was a bad time to look at my monitor.
It didn't work.
Oh, no. You've got to do it like this. You can't just throw your hand out and expect the spell to work.
But you throw the spell.
No. You do that for when you're doing it for one person, like when you're casting Cure. But when you're trying to cast the area of effect ones, like Cura, it's more of a... And Leon holds his hand up in the air, like and the ball of energy, like the healing energy appears in his hand, and then he closes his hand in a fist around it, and it pulses out around the point that he's targeting, like that.
So I take the ball and then I crush it.
I suppose that's one way of doing it. Yes.
I could do that.
Okay, try it.
He raises his hand up in the air. What would that be? What would that check be for this?
I mean, you don't necessarily need to make a check for it, but if you want to,
I want to see if he's successful or not.
I guess it will be Arcana. Or because it's
15.
Yes.
Hands in the air.
Aww, his Arcana score is +3. That's cute.
Hands
Sorry.
in the air.
So, yep. And Leon does the same thing, but doesn't cast the spell, just to show Throck the correct hand movements. And then squish.
And then Throck closes his hand with such force that you hear a crack.
He's managed to clap with one hand.
Yes.
And the
Does it
spell
work?
successfully casts, yes.
Yeah!
You know what? Close enough.
Then he starts clapping with one hand.
And Leon's just sitting there, face in his hand, just... what am I gonna do with you, eh?
Give me a big old hug, and then he's gonna pick him up.
And so it's just the sounds of fine. And it doesn't take much, and Leon just kind of submits to what's happening.
It's fine if I squeeze too hard. Now I can clap with my hand, and then you'll be all better.
I prefer you didn't crush my bones, but
I'll try not to. I'm just very enthusiastic.
else I will make you tiny.
No. Can't be big and strong. I can't be big and strong if I'm small.
Well, then don't crush my bones.
Fine. Have a deal.
It's not a deal, it's just not crushing my existence.
You like it when I crack your back.
Well, yes, but there's a difference between cracking my back and cracking my
And then Brock is
entire
going
ribcage.
to place both his hands behind Leon's back and then squeeze.
Yin chiropractic.
Yes.
Oh, it definitely
I'm
clicks
picturing
Leon's
bubble
back.
wrap being twisted.
Yes, it does in fact flick the stress out of Leon's back.
There you go.
Okay. God damn you. And in response to this, Leon is going to Can you make a contest of strength, please?
A contest of strength
Yes.
with Frock.
Yes.
This is interesting. Sure. Let's fucking.
It's just- It's on combat.
Is it just his modifier?
Yeah.
28.
28.
You're ordinate.
So, Leon starts to wriggle away,
He's not trying very hard.
and Leon starts to slowly wriggle away, and it's like, you know what?
Triggering his predatory instinct, so he squeezes even harder.
No! And so Leon just goes, why? Why do you do this? And so he's gonna activate his one of his minor auras to motivate strength to wriggle free of his man's grip.
I'm
Did
gonna
you
start
roll?
giving him little kisses.
And Leon temporarily stops for a moment before remembering he's trying to wriggle free. What did you roll in your? You roll another contest of strength.
You may actually wriggle free. 22.
37. It's a nat 20. And so Leon manages to wriggle free and just kind of straightens out like a plank and just rolls across the grass a fair distance away before getting up. Okay, right.
What's that for?
Because you were squishing me just a little bit too enthusiastically.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eh.
I got carried away.
And as if to,
I'm gonna start pouting and looking at the floor.
Leon's gonna cast legendary proportions on himself, so make Throck look small as Leon becomes huge in size.
Ooh,
Huh.
big bunny.
Uh-oh.
Big bunny!
No!
He's gonna-
What have I done?
He's gonna leap on him.
And so, Leon is tackled to the ground.
No, I can squeeze you as hard as I want!
No!
Yeah!
And so... Oh, God. Okay. So, after that chaos, the groups are called back together into the... back into the Coliseum / training area / whatever the fuck you want to call it. The big circle in the middle. No, I'm not calling it that. For the next session of twin casting, and I'm looking at the wrong thing. Nailed it. There it is. So.
We were 74. Oh
um,
fuck. Laptop.
It's fine. Bear with a moment because I have to rearrange the order in which people are in. Because, believe it or not, there are new pairings, and what Lupus decides to do is basically manually adjust where you guys are and sets you up with people. So, Alec, you are placed with Norlan and Andromeda
Cool.
to practice Cometra together as
Epic.
your mutually shared spell.
That is
Yes,
a great spell.
I am doing this in order so that I can see who is where. You know what? I'm not going to do this in order. I'm lazy. Respectfully to myself. Aurelus, K. Where is she? Where is K? K is there. Aurelus, K. Astra. Rose, where is Rose? She's there. Rose, Leon, and Gareth. Where is those? There. Work together to cast with the mutual spell of Faith. Oh my god, this is gonna be the best one. Alice, Uzok. Where is she? Karina. Marianne, Mado, and Clementine. come together to practice Dispel.
Nine.
Luna and Lilac come together to practice Magi, as a lot of Luna's potential twin casting partners are practicing other spells. Xanis, Zippy, and Diana come together to practice Sloga. So thank you, Luna. I see you pinging and it's actually making life easier. It shouldn't be making things easier, but it is. Thank you. Penton and Sarek come together to practice Warpigger, with Penton improvising using a Shadow Elemental as part of that. Lupus and Ankh, an interesting combination, come together to practice the Dark Spell. But the truly most devastating interaction here is Norik, Carmina, and Kazaroth
Huh.
coming together to practice Faux Discord 2.
That is Charisma plus, that is.
But I think we can all agree the truly most deafening and threatening combination is Throck, Meraxis, and Edith coming together to practice Cure.
Whoa.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave those pairings there, and then I will just nab rolls post-session, just for the sake of I've got to do maths.
Throck's gonna heal the fuck out of you. Prepare to live.
No. And so you spend... Spend some time twin casting together. I'm gonna make a note of how many... There we go. Brain cells. There we go. Okay, brain, please. Yes, that. Come on. What am I doing? I have literally just blank-brained. Okay, no, I figured it out. I remember what I'm doing. I remember what I was doing. So... along the way... do that. What am I doing? Sorry, my brain is having a hard reset moment because I'm trying to figure something out and I'm not figuring it out. Right, that's what I was gonna do. So... Lupus, Norik, Astra, and Marianne end up gathering together to have some tea and some snacks that Lupus has made. So a variety of buns and basically just various snack items on the table to basically just chit-chat amongst other things.
I must say, I did miss your cooking.
Well, what can I say? And so you are sitting in this, not so much like a little office room, like it was a little bit hidden away to get to, but it's a balcony, like a balcony sided office of sorts that faces out onto the town and the setting sun. Well, not to play theatrics, but I thought this would be a nice view. And just the general little bit of chit-chat.
Do you need me to set the mood?
Hmm?
Said, do you need me to set the mood?
No. Honestly, if you listen, you can hear the birds. So... And Lupus takes a bite out of one of the buns he's holding. Chewing it, swallow, blah blah blah. So...
As you do with food.
Hmm?
As you do with food.
Yeah. So what do you make of the of our situation anyway? not so much of the doom and gloom of it all, but just being back and having all of this happen.
I'm just happy to be back and see some friendly faces.
Hmm.
See some familiar faces. Speaking of which, it's lovely to see you again, Astra.
It
And
is
Marianne.
it is lovely to see you too, Narek.
It is lovely to see you too.
I wanted to write, but I thought you'd miss me too much, so...
Yes, well, I must admit it was a bit unusual going about the every other month and not having your bombastic personality arriving in these halls. Speaking of bombastic personalities, I've caught wind of something quite interesting. And Lupus places down on the table this posting for a mysterious figure. And it describes a ginger-haired man with goggles and what appears to be some sort of halberd wandering around the plane of Mechanus. So
That's not...
it's a very poor sketch of whoever's done it, but does that sound familiar to either of you? Or to you?
Very.
What?
Sounds very familiar.
And so Lupus places the posting down the table. You see this sketched outline. And the description very much matches a certain ginger-haired, goggle-wearing, halberd-toting friend of yours who has been taking the world's most epic power nap for the last while. Now, I'm not saying that it might be Sid, but
But it might be Sid.
last time I checked, I know that but I think I found out where Sid's soul disappeared to a while ago. He said he had some business to attend to.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's go get him!
Well, it's a little bit easier said than done.
You
Because-
have told me this.
Hmm?
You've told me this already, have you not?
His physical form is in the basement of the guild. His soul was, I believed, had gone off to Mechanus, considering what put him in the position of becoming a goddess. Don't
Ah, yeah,
question it at all.
I remember.
Was Norik know this? This would have happened
No.
during his hiatus, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
right.
Narek would be vaguely aware that the goddess Audia reincarnated / re-emerged at some point, thanks to the varying levels of connection between the gods. It's
So-
like the equivalent of like God's social media. You could see that like that god was online X period of time ago, but that's it.
I think you're having a bit of problem with your pronouns there, Lupus. You goddess?
Yes.
What?
Well, you know how Sid was a bit hopeless when it came to Astra's beauty, followed by Edith's beauty, and just not exactly being the best lady man in general.
Bit of a horn dog, yes.
No, just a hopeless romantic with absolutely no game at all. Well, how do I describe this to you? Audia is now the god is technically a god now. The god Ordo. Because Sid committed the most epic slurpity slurp you've ever seen, and ended up fusing himself with a goddess that technically killed him.
Oh, my goodness.
and Lupus is trying. You can see, like, Lupus's like entire snout is like tensed up slightly,
My man.
and he's like You can see he's so clearly trying to hold a laugh in. He's failing, but he's trying so hard to hold back every single little immature thought that is going through the back of his head.
That absolute scoundrel.
So
I'm so proud of him.
his soul and physical form separated from each other, so there is now a perfect replica / construct that was left behind, because engineers are a bit quirky like that, currently in the basement building airships and various devices, because I just couldn't stop it. He just had to do what he does best. And I've not been able to figure out where exactly his soul is at this point, or like the spiritual manifestation of Sid. But if this posting is correct, we may have an idea of where he is. Kind of.
So if we find him, him,
Them.
yeah, that's the one, them, can we combine the two and get Sid back?
I mean,
If-
yes,
If that
but
is even
also-
wanted.
I mean, considering he
Yeah.
basically described it to me as he's going to take the world's most epic power nap. His words, not mine. Although, definitely something I would describe it as. Reattach the two back together and ta-da!
Well, a nap's only a nap. We can just wake him up. So yes.
Yeah. It's
Awaken from your sleep, Sid dearest.
it is an interesting situation.
But he's in the plane of Mechanus.
Yes, so
That seems like a big space to search.
Lupus slowly nods in agreement. It is.
Do we think maybe we should do this after we deal with the whole Lillian Beast thing?
Yes, well, I have reason to believe that he may end up showing himself up if we go about handling things correctly. So... and Lupus places down the table this little flare gun with a canister labeled Sid magnet that's clearly a round for the flare gun, but the outside of it is bright pink. And Lupus places a second one down on the table. So...
What the heck is this?
I'm with Marianne. What the heck is this?
So... Myself and Zippy were trying to figure out how exactly we would go about locating our dearest friend in Mechanus. And this was Ziffy's idea, not mine. And Lupus is sitting there just shaking his head as though he's having to present an idea that is definitely not his, but he's having to make it seem like it's a thought-out plan.
Norik is going to take the flare and start inspecting it.
There are two of them, so he's only taking the one, but...
Okay.
I'll inspect the other.
So...
I've just seen
No,
on the screen.
shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Silence. So, Lupus, with head in hand, offers his hand out. Will one of you mind handing me one of those rounds? We are keeping hold of one of these. The other one is just so I can show you. And
Norik looks at Marianne.
okay.
He nods head in direction.
Okay, I will nod back.
I will also nod back.
I'll nod back again.
So
He's trying to tell you to give up your canister, Marianne.
Oh, okay. I will give it.
And so Lupus takes the canister, like, basically, after the canister is given to Lupus, after two have just been nodding at each other back and forth. Lupus loads the round into the flare gun, places his forehead against his hand, holds the flare gun up, and aims it out onto the balcony, and then fires it. Because, like, you guys are kind of in, like, an overhead canopy bit that's protected. So he basically just fires it out, and it's a release of pink gas as it explodes with... and in the middle of this pink gas cloud, like, it seems like this silhouette appears in the middle of it, and Lupus just sitting there holding his head in his hands. This was Ziffy's idea, not mine. I put an image in the chat as to what silhouette within the cloud is.
It's a... But, oh.
Penton gets a wolf whistle from
It's not Penton.
from a little far away.
Oh my god, no.
He's looking out the window.
Lupus is just sitting there, head in hands. This is Zippy's idea, not mine.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
You still went along with it, darling.
I know.
Means you think it'll work.
I know, that's the worst part, that it might.
So, the plan is that...
I don't
Is he-
have any.
He's supposed to see that in the sky and go towards us.
I mean, yes, I would imagine that not many people will be carting around pink flares that emit such a silhouette. I don't know why Ziffy thought this was a good idea. We didn't need to add the silhouette part.
We could have just you could have just written, like, Sid, come here.
I could have, but this is what happens when I leave Ziffy alone with Desmond.
Who's Desmond?
For context, Desmond is the guild's, I'm gonna make sure I've actually got the correct name. I have
Oh,
just
is he the
misnamed.
bomb guy?
Yes, Desmond is the guild's bomb demolitions expert
Like,
and chemist, who is also a little bit tee-hee unhinged, but in, like, the funny way. And so Lupus is just sitting there. Anyway, aside from our dear friend, I made this this cake
ooh.
partly as like a welcome back to our friend here, but also as just a little celebration for us gathering back together. And Karina and Rose are busy training together, and Ziffy's...
Creating works of art?
No, he's sitting there watching Diana ripple. I think Diana's having an out-of-body experience or something.
Yes, she was like that when I found her.
Lupus looks at Norik.
You realise how suspicious that sounds?
Alright, looks at the floor.
Bruh.
Okay, I've now figured out why she's vibrating. I thought there was a strange resonance. Anyway.
How? Huh?
It'll make more sense when you see it later. Anyway.
She looked like jelly. I wanted to make it jiggle. What?
And Lupus is just sitting there looking at Norik very judgmentally.
It's funny! It was funny! It is funny! I'm cracking up just thinking about it.
And the corners of Lupus's mouth have kind of turned upwards a little bit as though he's trying to hold a smile back. Look, just because... Just because she jiggles does not mean you get to cause her brain to fold. Anyway, I hope you're.
Someone on Earth are giving me the silent treatment, so. Carry on, sorry, I keep interrupting.
Anyway, I assume that none of you are opposed to strawberries.
Ooh, yummy.
Well, now that you mention. No, I'm not opposed, no.
Okay. Astra?
Why would I be opposed?
I don't know. Maybe Peritos has fed you too many fresh fruits. I don't know. And Lupus has a smile on his face.
If that were the case, I think I'd be more concerned about apples.
You know what? You're right. Say, what have you been doing with them aside from making pie? Have you tried making meat of them, or?
Don't worry about it.
This sounds like something I need to investigate at some point. Anyway, and Lupus stands up from the table, walks out the door, and is gone for a few minutes before he comes back, and he re-enters the room, arse and tail first, as he's using his butt to basically push the door open. And
Don't make a comment. Anyway.
Do it.
Nice ass!
Please tell me Norik is not saying that out loud.
Please tell me not.
Norik is saying that out loud because he's noticing
course he
how
would.
awkward
It's
Astra
not.
looks, and he just wants to take advantage at the moment.
Okay. So Lupus is just standing there with cake in hand, like on a plate, just slowly blinking
Oh man,
as
he
he's
got
pressing.
cake on his plate. That was even better. Anyway.
My guy. Lupus is just standing there looking a little bit baffled.
Norik just nods at him.
Anyway,
Blank faced.
cake?
Okay.
Yes, please.
And Lupus rejoins the table. It's like a slightly taller coffee table, and you're all sitting on like these big plush pillows. And as he cuts into it and shares out some slices, it's like a multi-layered of really soft, like vanilla-looking vanilla. What you'd assume is like a vanilla sponge, like cream, fruit, cream, sponge, and it's layered like that a couple times over. Yes. And hands you each a slice. And I've also sorted out some tea.
Mm.
Sorry.
Okay, Astra, dear, we know you like tea.
The way that resonated back through frickin' through Marianne's mic as well.
But please, keep it contained.
I need a moment. Because it was and then it vibrated back. Brilliant. Okay.
It did make it sound very enthusiastic.
Anyway, Lupus pulls out some tea between you. And this is a bit of an interesting blend. And I'll tell you what it is in a moment. And so you are given tea and cake. And I'm imagining Astra's probably trying to guess what the tea is. If I had to hazard a guess.
Slurp, slurp.
Would you like to make me
A tea check.
Oh.
Yes, this is in fact tea.
We'll say an investigation check.
Is it tea?
One of my worst.
Or everyone, or just...
Oh fuck.
If you want, you can. I can get you to Oh, yeah, that's plenty. That is
Boy.
excellent. So, you recognize that it's a type of fruit, but you can't quite put your finger on what fruit it is because it's not one that you're personally familiar with. At least not initially, as the flavors kind of change and shift a little bit on your tongue, and after everybody's had a few sips of the tea, Lupus sits there and smiles. So, what do you think?
What's in it?
It's only one type of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Marlboro fruit.
Oh.
And yes, whilst those
Brother.
things are completely repulsive scent-wise because of their vines and various juices, as I'm going to describe it,
This sounds perfectly, never mind.
but the fruits that grow on their heads like a little crown almost are actually one of the most highly sought after delicacies.
You don't say.
It's
Not gonna make us see stuff, is it?
Oh, no, it's not going to
This
be another
was
star herb.
targeted.
Been there, done
Ah,
that.
good. Yeah.
Say,
At least they're useful for something.
well, you're not wrong. Speaking of, I have been trying to grow star herbs in one of the various gardens here at the guild.
Uh-huh.
And, I've had varying levels of success.
Mm-hmm.
In that, I had one successful harvest of the lot. Before I realized that I had grabbed the wrong herbs.
Wait, if he's had unsuccessful harvests, does that mean that's your fault, Astra?
Lucas
I don't
looks
think
at
that's how
Astra.
that works.
I mean,
Flirts tea nervously.
have you
Nah,
been
she did it on purpose.
Have you been denying me of the star herbs? Wait, hang on a minute.
This is intervention with us.
Lupus looks at Astra. Does that mean you knew that the type of herbs that grew successfully weren't in fact star herbs, and they were plain? They were plainer. It was plainer mint. I
Flirts nervously.
I sent myself to another dimension with mint brownies. Why? Why did you let that happen?
Sounds like incredible
It's kind of-
brownies.
That's one hell of
It's
a
kind of-
trip.
Ah, 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 ah.
I can imagine Astra shooting fucking daggers at Norik right now from that.
Well, suffice to say, one of the types of herbs that that Summer has been trying to cultivate, I've decided to try and pick up having a bit of a green thumb, not literally, as Lupus gives Norik side eye. But
What?
I was waiting for you to make some sort of awful pun. Anyway, I decided to help out a little bit, and that's not so much a problem until you realize that you have a tiny mandragora running around with a pointy knife. I'll have to introduce you to Mandy at some point. He's an interesting experience. And I will eventually cultivate some star herbs, even if I have to somehow sneak it past you. God damn it, I will try. Or maybe the 1 year that you forget. Eventually. But no, one of them is called plainer mint. And it looks exactly like a star herb when it's fully grown. Smells exactly like it, except the inside of the plant itself is a slightly different shade. The only way you can tell is when you make tea, or when you cook it. Because with star herbs, the liquid comes out blue when you boil it, a tea. With plainer mint, it comes out a darker green. But if you're cooking
I'm
it,
seeing a problem here.
but if you cook it into something like brownies, by any chance, you know, a thing that is predominantly going to force the color to be one thing. What?
Aren't you colorblind?
I was. I'm not anymore.
Okay.
That was 50-something about 51 years ago.
Oh, time flies.
And so do the metaphorical wings of your soul. Bitch.
They do fly.
Must suck to be you, being now having to be an old man. Ha.
Yeah, dying did suck.
Yeah, Norik, how come Astra and Diana have wings and you don't?
Because wings are for pussies.
Lupus very quietly just very blankly just looks at the tea that he is drinking and just doesn't acknowledge the question. Just
Out of character, why is that?
as to why Astra and Diana have wings and some other particular gods don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I'll answer this as Lupus. As Lupus basically gives a more detailed response than Norik does of wings of the pussies. Well, simply put, the Raven Queen is a bird. So
I've noticed.
So naturally, should have wings. For Astra, well, it's because you're partly angelic in nature, and Asimars do have the capacity to temporarily sprout wings.
Mm-hmm.
And also because the heart representative bird of the harvest is the chocobo.
Oh.
And I suppose Eden must have found it slightly comical to give you the power to polymorph into a chocobo chick.
Mm-hmm.
Norik doesn't.
Yeah.
Because he's just not based on it. He doesn't have any sort of
He's just
avian
not based.
capacity.
Yeah,
You are
you're
just...
getting
not
based.
based.
Norik is not based.
Norik is just not based enough to have wings. Oh fuck.
The same thing could be said for Ifrit. He doesn't have wings.
That's
Although,
true.
something that is quite interesting,
Mm.
and it's probably the most stupid thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
How do I describe it? You see, one of mine and Ziffy's pact with Lunarius. You would think we would have access to some unique things.
Do you have wings?
I don't know. Ziffy.
Would you like wings?
I mean, I suppose I could temporarily borrow Diana's or Astra's, given.
What do you mean borrow them?
Well,
You don't remember from the fight.
you don't remember me from going "Arrah."
Oh wait, no, you were on the floor.
Savage. Damn.
Norik is going to give Astra a high
Yeah,
five.
you weren't. You weren't there. I high five Norik.
Good one, bitch.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. So for the record, Norik, me, Marianne, Ankh, Diana, Penton, Ankh, and Lilac.
I think you said
all
Ankh twice.
It's fine.
Was he there?
I know. Please continue.
No. All fought Lupus because he was being a little shit.
Hey.
He is a little shit.
Yeah, I
Come
know,
on.
right?
I mean, you're not wrong, but come on.
Everyone's
Because
getting
he
flack
was
today,
withholding
honey.
key information from everyone, including Group U.
And Lupus is just like has like squished his chin down a bit, so he looks like he's got double chin.
And so we had to use a little bit of a cheat, also known as Unk. Because, let's be honest, the moment he broke out the full Lunarian soul, the rest of us were probably going to be on the floor, like
Yeah.
Marianne and
It sounds
Diana.
like he was cheating.
But
He
Me?
was.
Were you cheating?
You walked into the room with runes already enabled to fight Penton.
because I was going to humiliate him. It was going to
Yeah.
be funny too.
Cheating.
Wow.
Fine. It's
Really
because,
going for the moral victory on this one, eh?
well, she's not wrong. You see, no, I'm not even going to try and justify it.
Don't dignify.
Lupus proceeds
Funny
to
that it was.
trigger off his
Take the
Lunarian
L,
soul, and you see the wings sprout. Those the wings of water do not sprout. However, the wings of golden light do. Well, simply put, I can temporarily borrow said wings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Because I trusted you enough.
yes, and it's
Don't
quite
betray that trust.
Did you then proceed to use said wings of trust
well.
against her?
No.
Well, no, he used it against Diana though by basically knocking her out in one go via the link that we created when we gave him these powers.
Yeah. So how
you
do
were
I?
being a bitch, not gonna lie.
Hey. Okay, yeah, I was being a bitch, but I can
It's
explain.
You're my bitch.
No. So I will
He's
put.
gonna give him a little hug.
I'll put you in the ground.
I will put you in the ground.
Been there, done that.
I'll do it again.
Uh,
And so Lupus just sits there and with a huffy
Oh,
expression
please.
on his face as Norik's like trying. He's like Lupus has basically got his hand on Norik's forehead, stopping him from trying to hug him. Pardon you.
Oh.
Good tea, was it?
This is my dinner
Hell yeah.
that I'm eating at the moment.
Ooh. So
Uh,
simply put, I was stuck in a loop of trying to process how to deal with all of the situations thrown at me at once.
Not very well.
No, I didn't. But I did as best as I could, given the circumstances, I would like to think.
I
But
can joke about how I'll take every opportunity that I can to make minor insults
oh,
because it's funny.
go for it. To be fair, I'm kind of glad that I did lose, because it wasn't something I did intentionally.
You were being stubborn.
Kind
Oh
of,
fuck yes.
yeah. Simply put, it's because my brain went, hey, I think I've told you about this before, Norik, where I get stuck in that cycle of essentially seeing the worst possible outcome of something, and then
Mhm.
panicking about that, so then going for the default option of just stubborn fight for survival. Well, that...
Power through it, only I can do it, because only I'm capable.
Well, okay, in this situation, not so much. More a case of I didn't want to have to put people through the same shit that happened when we fought Slaven, potentially, again. Except from this time, hey, we didn't do a good enough job the first time. And I mean,
Yeah, what's with that?
well...
Kinda lame. Just stay dead.
yeah,
Oh dear.
I wish they had to, but no. Simply put, I don't have wings, but I'll tell you an interesting story of when Ziffy decided to throw himself off the top of the guild thinking he would majestically sprout wings.
Why on earth did he think that?
Well, there was an interesting crater in the floor after he did it,
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
followed by me landing on
Did you
top
have
of
a
him
bit
because
too
I...
much starter beforehand.
No. Both of
You
it.
can't grow it.
It was a bet.
Of course it was.
Because, okay, how do Reggie and Asta were having a debate as to why certain the same conversation we're having now. They were having a debate as to why some gods have wings and some don't. And whilst Reggie was being the nerd he is and explaining everything, Asta basically had the same response that Narek did. And then they ended up talking to me and Zippy about, hey, do you two have wings? And so Zippy was like, yeah, I definitely do.
Let me find out.
And so he jumped off the side, off the, you know the crow's nest at the very top of the building? He jumped off of that, and you'll notice if you look hard enough in there's one of the rose bushes in the main garden that's just ever so slightly out of place from everything else. Which we grew a rose bush there of a very specific color just to remind Zippy of the fact that he does do stupid things. And that I almost crushed every single bone in his body by landing on top of him after trying to do the same thing.
Dude.
Why did you do that?
For science?
You must have seen him fall.
Well, simply put, I was
The
also...
bigger question is, why did you intentionally jump in the same place such that you would land on him?
Because I was trying to I was in the middle of testing one of my slow fall runes. I'm still working on it.
Clearly
Did you
it
fall
failed.
slowly?
No.
You
No,
sound like you did.
no, I fell faster.
Wow,
Oh,
this
for
is
God's sake.
the champion of like the most powerful god in the world, right here, for throwing himself off of buildings for science.
Yes. Well, excuse me, but Miss Champion of the God of Fire.
Oh, here comes the flag. Hello.
Lupus just turned his head to look at Narek judgmentally. Anyway.
For 15 years I lived for chaos.
Well, I'm not surprised by that, but anyway. I've spent a while trying to perfect an experiment to create new runes, and sometimes I have to test them on myself. However, one thing that always comes back as consistent is that I don't always get it right. Because unfortunately, I do not have any actual attunement to any elements. So whereas Astra, you've got connections with light, with holy water and earth, and Marianne, fire, Narek, lightning, I'm kind of just like, I've got a little bit of everything and a little bit of nothing. If you guys have got 100% in each thing, I've got like 15% in each.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
But it comes back to bite me in the ass. But one thing I did very much enjoy, and Lucas sits there with a very with a cheeky smile on his face, is that I figured out how to do this, and there is a small orange on the table. It's like part of the fruit display that Lupus picks up, puts in the middle of the table, after moving the cake to the side so it's out of the danger zone.
Is there any cake left at this point?
Yeah. It's been divvied up so there's like 3 or 4 slices for each person. So relatively thin slices. And the orange in the middle of the table kind of rolls a little bit. And Lupus looks at Astra, looks at Narek, looks at Marianne. Now watch. And Lupus conjures a rune underneath the orange. And the orange starts levitating a little bit. And going in a circle. And Lupus is like wiggling his fingers at it. It's not actually doing anything. Very obviously not doing anything. I don't even need to get you to roll an Arcana check to tell you that it's not doing anything. He's just wiggling his fingers for the aesthetic effect. And Lupus clicks his fingers, and you listen as the orange is catapulted upwards, fast enough that it breaks the sound barrier. So you just hears boom, and then the orange is gone.
Aw.
It'll come
Wouldn't
down in
that,
about
like-
2 days.
Out of context, out of our character, wouldn't that like shatter our eardrums if we broke the sound barrier?
Yes and no.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
There is some part of that rune being put in place is that it does not make a massive amount of sound. It's muffled in some capacity. I can't be asked to go and find the name of it again to read it. So you hear the boom noise like a gunshot's gone off, but the orange just basically disappears.
Ah,
So
cool.
So you just destroyed an orange. I could do that.
well, no, the orange is still in one piece.
Where's
Everyone
the-
proceeds to start destroying oranges in their own way.
I can
Bolt
fuck
of
up an
lightning
orange.
from the clouds to the orange.
I can make explosive melons.
Just melons?
Lupus just looks at Astra with a smile on his face. Ah, I see.
What kind of melons? Do watermelons count?
It's a bigger explosion if it's a larger melon. Science.
You want to find out?
Yes!
Yes.
Hey Lucas, is this room destructible?
Yes.
Yes, but if you clarify,
Go outside.
Lupus looks at Astra, sees the smile on her face, and proceeds to immediately prepare a room to make the room to like shield the room itself.
So
Oh, right.
Astra first activates Radiance of the Harvest, and then casts Melon Detonation.
What type of melon is it?
Yeah,
It's a
make,
Malva melon.
make
What's
a
a
deck
Malva
save,
melon?
everyone. Make a deck save.
What do you mean? You're not using selective targets to...
No! Oh my god! That makes it even better!
And then the gods die.
Why would I?
Fucking hell, alright, let me get my sheet up.
Sorry, I'm smiling.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Honestly, you'll be fine. I'll
You don't
revive
know
you.
that.
Don't worry
You don't
about
know.
it.
You don't know how much HP I have. You...
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll revive you.
Where is stays? You said Dex?
Dex,
Magical.
of course.
Astra!
Astra. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm worrying
Like
about
I
it!
said, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I've got to now add all of my multipliers.
270.
Put
Lilac is
it
going to be
in the chat.
pissed.
Put it in the chat. I'll tell you if you pass in a second. I'm currently
My,
multiplying. What the fuck am I?
my jaw hurts from smiling.
Is it?
Lupus, do I have evasion?
I don't know, do you?
I do. Never mind. Don't worry.
Wait, hold up.
Medics get evasion.
They get evasion, but not improved evasion. So.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Where
Um,
is,
I like to think about the shocked expressions on our faces as we suddenly realise we have sealed ourselves in a room with a bomb.
Multiple bombs.
Yeah,
Wait, maybe
I
that wasn't the best
can't-
idea.
Water. Wait a second. Bro. Please.
Yeah,
Please don't.
yeah. Well, I should probably roll the water separately, just so
The irony, yeah.
Where the fuck is this fucking multiplier that is?
Wait,
part of my
what is
gear?
Noric weak to?
Fucking- it's 150.
Oh my god.
Lilac is
You
going to be
motherfucker.
so pissed.
No, I'm not gonna.
Right, guys.
Uh-oh.
That's fucking lunar sheet. Wrong one. Right.
Wait,
Okay,
wait,
water
no.
is
wait.
times 2 at
Hold on.
base anyway.
I just noticed something.
What?
mm,
Oh wait!
Look at the final sentence.
Oh yeah! Your target's evasion is treated as 1 stage lower, so fuck your improved evasion. Or
And
evasion.
fuck my regular
And your
evasion.
stalwart.
I
Right.
think I think Norik
So-
might be evasionless as well. Your
Um.
evasion. Wait.
Great.
Uh-oh.
Hey, hold on.
Norik
hold
just fucking
Hold
Astra
on.
just sets off and explodes. I hope you know the fact
So
that
That's the water.
fuck me.
The fucking
I'm
Uh,
looking through
what's
my
the
Gil
like,
rooms
just hears
right
this
now.
massive
Three
explosion,
times.
opens the door, and finds us all in a fucking Yorkshire boat.
How much damage is it?
120 d12 earth damage times 3 because fuck you. That's why.
Okay, so
Um,
one fire. So, it's yeah. I'm just gonna put.
So the amount of water damage is 1,580. Oh wait, actually, I first should check what the fucking if any of you saved, which you probably did, and you all wait. Norik, you didn't save.
Oh no!
Doric, why are your saves so?
So Lupus doesn't take any damage because it's Lupus.
It's improved evasion, and because Lupus still has his Lunarian soul active at the moment, that is the only thing saving him here. Because like, hold on, if I take all of that off.
Norik's saves are great, but the thing is, Norik has to set up for his saves to be amazing.
I want to
Yeah.
point out, if Lupus did not have Lunarian Soul active, that would have been just a casual 132 lower than it is. Fucking hell.
So Marianne, you double water, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Marianne, you don't have any evasion because it
Fuck you.
Because
says
fuck you says.
So
Fuck
you take 3,176 water damage and 2,274 earth damage. I've already rolled.
Is auto bubble
Auto
still
bubble
up?
is so long as you're wearing the belt, auto bubble is active. So if you look at your token,
Okay, thank
it
fuck,
is on there.
because-
Don't worry.
Otherwise I would have died.
You
I'll-
would
I'll-
have.
So
now, if it didn't have bubble.
Norik, at base, you're taking 1,588 water damage and 2,274 earth damage. Apply your resistances.
Or
Fuck the numbers.
vulnerabilities.
Do you want some help?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me.
Do we really need to apply damage? I mean, like if we're not
It's
down,
because
we,
this would be
we
really
may as well
funny.
not.
Just because I
Norik
think
might be
I can't be
down.
bothered. You can add Marianne's if you want.
I
cannot be
will. I will because it's funny.
Oh wait, no, Norik has water bubble as well, I think.
Yes, Norik does in fact have.
Okay, so as long as it can do 8,000 damage, I'm fine.
Oh, that's the laugh of ha! I have caused chaos. Okay.
Imagine if I then used like a second action.
No.
You know, with that one spell, if it hit Lupus without Lunarian Soul up and he didn't save,
He would be
He'd-
on the floor. Yes.
but nearly on the floor, because total that is 3,862 damage. If I casted it again, then you'd be on the floor.
Very much so. The benefits of having the capacity to like ready fucking room.
I like how we encourage this, and it is exclusively damage that we are weak to.
Yeah.
I didn't think the melons would hurt so much.
Fucking hell.
And the joke of this whole scene is Astra whips out her melons and everybody goes ah.
Ah.
Just the letter A in caps. Okay. So Marianne, I just put the dent in Marianne's health bar. It's 5,150
Oh, yeah.
damage.
Oh yeah. Where's that?
Okay. And then
There you are.
What the fuck after?
and then 2274 times 2.
Is Astra even weak to anything?
She has damage vulnerabilities.
But she isn't
For what?
weak. This
For
should
what?
be obvious. Don't worry about it. Don't worry,
Let me
don't
see if
worry.
I have anything.
To the
I mean, you can literally just look on the buff and debuff tracker and it's on there.
to the elements that
can't be
her wife is.
I'm
Her
looking
weakness
for
is her
shadow.
wife.
She's
I don't-
vulnerable
Who's
to
that
her
rep?
wife.
Astra is
Vulnerable to her wife.
use white.
Well,
It's super effective.
I'm gonna be honest, that makes it sound
It's fire and shadow. Her vulnerability is 30, so she takes 30 more fire and shadow damage.
And I've applied it to Norik. I've applied Norik's damage as well.
Oh yeah. No, I imagine everyone that's in the guild just went, "What the fuck?"
So, to describe what the rest of the guild heard was
Oh my
just
God.
this was like, because this is like, it's silent at the moment. I just want to clarify, like, in the guild it's pretty much silent, so sound carries. So all that is heard from down the hall, as like the other groups are like everybody else is just kind of talking, chilling, waiting for
They're gonna think they're under
for
attack.
meals.
Oh,
They
shit,
just
yeah.
hear Astra's voice go, "Hey, want to see these melons?" Effectively just, "Hey, want to see these melons?" Followed by the muffled sounds of a wet-sounding explosion. Like somewhere between, like, if you were
Yeah,
to
they were
like
good melon.
like what I can only describe as like the equivalent of like if you were to squish a juicy fruit in your hand, kind of like squishy noise, with the sound of a several-ton bomb going off. So it's just it's the same. It's like a more bassy version of the sound a ketchup bottle makes when it's like when
got a
the
grenade
bottle
in it.
starts farting.
Can I
Yeah.
wiggle my finger at Astra like no, and then cast transfer hurts hostile?
What's the save?
It's
No, I
roll
have-
to hit.
I must say,
Oh,
Astra, this sounds
Oh,
weird
okay.
coming from me, but those are quite possibly the most impressive melons I've ever seen.
Astra bursts
What
into
level?
lava laughter.
I rolled a natural 20, and
Fuck.
so that's a is that an auto hit or not?
No.
No, but it
What
would
is
be a
total?
crit
Damn,
technically.
it's probably
What is?
not. Okay, 96.
Yeah, you're not hitting me.
Fuck.
Lupus takes a moment to just like brush
Nice.
the bits of melon off of him before casting full cure.
You know,
Casting full cure.
Lupus, I didn't even get the opportunity to use that on you in the fight, nor the other runes that I gained as being a part
Yes.
of becoming Ardeon.
All my runes are fucking fire damage. This
Lupus
is-
just sits there and smiles. I know, because I've seen Eden. I've seen Eden use those before. The last time that I threw hands with her.
So, why didn't you stop us?
Why would you throw hands with Eden?
Why would you allow us to do this if you knew what the outcome would be?
Because Lupus is just sitting there smiling at you
It's
without a
kind of
response.
funny.
It's kind of funny, not gonna lie.
It's
But
kind of funny,
because-
though.
Because hearing you say that Astra's melons are the most glorious melons you've ever seen.
You know, I also have this gardening tool that, whilst at the moment Lupus can't exactly be that is army of one that prevents
Yeah,
area
AoEs.
effect.
It is not Lunarian full. Lupus just sits
Is
there
that
and,
about to hose?
Astra,
No.
Astra
It's not-
drops her bomb melons and then
she
I
whips
mean-
out her exploding melons.
And starts
I
holding everywhere.
kind of want to hit Lupus. It's a bad thing to say.
you
Lu-
already
Lupus
watermeloned him.
Lupus at this point acknowledges the fact the cake that he made is somehow miraculously safe and protected by a runic bubble. That's the one thing he remembered to actually cover.
The cake
And
full field.
Lupus throws his leg up on the table, looks at Astra, wiggles eyebrows. You want to hit me, eh? Do it. And that is where I'm going to have to end
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay.
I wanted to actually say something before we
Do it.
end the session. It's like, oh yeah, Norik, I actually have some other news from the last 30 years since I've been. I had a daughter,
Say
as in gave
what?
birth.
He had
And
child.
that's where we're gonna
That's
leave
where we're
that.
ending it.
Just Norik, like, hands on face, like...
Right as Astra summons a scythe.
Surprise Pikachu face?
See you next time. Bye!
Wow.